I'm Huon Hooke, and this is The Real Review. The wine we're tasting now is Chaffey Brothers Wine Company, Tripelpunkt Riesling 2019. So the backstory of Chaffey Brothers. This is a fairly new wine company based in Eden Valley, South Australia, which is of course the Great Riesling region. And the name goes way back to the days when, the early days of the irrigation schemes in South Australia along the Murray River, where a man called Ben Chaffey came out from California, I believe, and he was an irrigation expert and he helped set up the irrigation schemes there, and later on became a winemaker and excelled as a winemaker. He and his brother were the irrigation people, hence Chaffey Brothers. But what does that have to do with this wine? Well, a descendant of Ben Chaffey is Daniel Hartwig, or Daniel Chaffey Hartwig, he calls himself, who is one of the guys behind Chaffey Brothers Wine Company. And because I guess they're based in the Barossa, they use a lot of these Germanic type names on their wines, and Tripelpunkt is the name of this Riesling. Another one I think is called Not Your Grandma's Riesling, which is quite a funny name for, I'm not sure what your grandmother drank. They do things differently, these guys, and they're very, very good winemakers. So this wine, Tripelpunkt, what does that mean? And I think that I will tell you what it means. It means that when a substance exists in equilibrium in all three phases, in other words, liquid, solid and gas, it is said to be Tripelpunkt, according to Daniel. With wine, this is more of an idea than a fact, it seems to me, and I quite like the idea. It probably refers to the sort of elusiveness of wine, which can seem to be ethereal and textural and fluid all at the same moment. I kind of like that idea, Tripelpunkt. And so what does the wine taste like? It's from Eden Valley, and when I sniffed this wine first, I thought, that is exactly what I expect Riesling from the Eden Valley to smell like. It's got a nice pale colour, it's youthful, but it's got this lovely fragrance of flowers. It's got a combination of fresh flowers and dried flowers. The very faintest whisper of citrus blossom, but it's very hard to say what kind of flower, but it's a mixture of flowers. That's why I think potpourri is a pretty good descriptor. A very, very classic and attractive aroma. Let's taste it. It's quite a different style because it's off dry or half dry. It's not a completely dry wine. That's deliberate, of course. They do bake some other Rieslings which are dry at Chaffey Brothers, but that wine has got a touch of residual sugar to it. I think that just takes it into a different league. It probably goes with different sorts of food than a completely dry wine. Oddly enough, wines like that which have a bit of residual sugar seem to age really well as well, and they become softer and rounder and richer with age. But it is bright, it is fresh, it is good long palate to it, nice delicacy, a bit of grip to it, which I think helps with that sweetness. The sweetness and the grip, the tannin grip balance each other well. Interesting wine indeed. So the rating of this wine, we scored it 93 out of 100, which is a nice strong silver ribbon score. It was rated number 8 out of 47 Rieslings from the Eden Valley in that vintage, 2019. And that's therefore a top rank score, a top rank rating. It's still young, this wine. It's 2 years old as of coming up to its second birthday. And I think it will live long and reward cellaring. The wine was fermented by wild yeast on solids, so it has more grip and more backbone and more texture to it than a lot of South Australian Rieslings, which are more spring water fresh, which don't have the grip and don't have the backbone. So I think this will go with stronger foods than most Rieslings. That sweetness level is so low that you wouldn't even notice it when you had it with food. So we've said drink this wine from now until 2030. I think 10 years is pretty much the ballpark for any good Eden Valley Riesling. The food with this wine We ask the winemakers and proprietors of these wineries to recommend food that will go with these wines. This one, I think Daniel Hartwig, the chief guy at Chaffey Brothers, recommends the local whiting, the specialty whiting of South Australia, which is the King George whiting, a very delicate fish, freshly caught, steamed or pan-fried, and any other pristine seafood. So he's having $1 each way. I totally agree with him. You know, you can serve this sort of wine with oysters, with prawns, with scallops, abalone if your budget runs to that. But fish, especially white fleshed fish, I think goes really well with Riesling. Cheers to that.